1992, I had to struggle for 6 months to get a 30,000 rupee OD limit from a nationalized bank. आजकल लोग बोलते हैं visionary and early.
Yes.
But हकीकत ये है कि we started a very small thing.
Yes.
It turned out to be big. If you look at the giant companies of today, many of them were startups yesterday. Startups, I think, are central to India's growth. The lesson for founders is use every bit of money you get really well and sensibly. Pi का हिसाब करो. Biggest secret of early stage investing is to invest behind companies and founders who are going to succeed anyway.
How do you know that?
You don't know that. That's the question you ask yourself.
It is not required. You do a job for certain many years and then go become entrepreneur.
It's not required, but that's what I did.
Why are you successful today?
I've been lucky. There's no end to wanting more. You've got to figure out when you have got enough. If you're frugal, if you're capital efficient, you keep your kharcha low, right? You will fail a lot less. Dream big, but start small.
Welcome to Mahakumbh 2024, sir. Mahakumbh Startup 2024 seems like a big platform. First time we're seeing an ecosystem of this kind put together. Can you tell us what is the idea? Matlab, what are we trying to create?
See, idea ये था that some of us felt that the ecosystem is now mature enough and large enough that you're talking about more than 100,000 registered startups, which means that more than 500,000 total startups.
Yes.
And you're talking about maybe 10, 11,000 angel investors. You're talking about a few thousand people working in the VC industry. You're talking about companies going public. You're talking about a whole bunch of government has got policymakers. You had the fund of funds. You've got institutions like SIDBI. And we said there are many startup events,
yes,
and they're all great, and we appreciate that. But perhaps we need a national apex event.
Yes.
So we suggested to the minister, and he said, "Great idea." But then he turned around and said, "You guys do it." Okay, so then that's how we began to do it.
That was a good turnaround that he made, that you guys do it. And I must say, you've done this in your life. I mean, decades back when you made this journey of your own, coming up with Naukri.com, today with Infosys Edge, you're there. How do you look back and tell us what is the difference in those times and today? Today we use the fancy word startup. We use so many terms. It's so attractive that there's so many startups. Did you get this chance then to be called as?
No, I mean, so when I quit my job in 1990,
yes,
the term startup was not in vogue in India. The word entrepreneur and entrepreneurship was not in vogue.
Okay.
I was just said, मैं अपना business चालू कर रहा हूँ.
Business.
We're starting a business, right? And we didn't even have a computer. There was no internet. We didn't have a telephone line. There was no mobile telephony. Okay, landline के लिए 8 साल की waiting list थी. तो हमने उस समय चालू किया था. And we drifted and pottered around for 7 years, doing a whole bunch of small things. And then we launched Naukri as the next small thing.
Okay.
So उस समय केवल 14,000 internet accounts थे इंडिया में in 1997.
Yes.
And we started from there. I just at that time thought it would be a nifty small idea.
Yes.
I said that if we can get 500 companies every month to pay 1,000 rupees for one job listing, that's 5 lakhs a month. That's 60 lakhs a year. तो थोड़ा प्रॉफिट बन जाएगा और मैं तनख्वाह ले पाऊंगा. That
was the only intention.
That was my only ambition when we started. Very limited ambition. अब आजकल लोग बोलते हैं visionary and early.
Yes.
But हकीकत ये है कि we started a very small thing.
Yes.
It turned out to be big.
Okay. So tell me one thing. This is a question everybody wants to know in a startup, not a startup space, when doing a business. Ki there should be a vision. There should be an idea. What should be the idea? The idea should be very big, or the idea should be just the way you had. I'll make some money. What is the right way to make it big?
No, so I'll tell you. I think the aim should be to do it right, do it well. Okay? And if along the way it becomes big, it's great. If it doesn't become big, but so long as you're profitable, sustainable, and what you're doing is worthwhile, and you find meaning in it, and you're able to defend your position against competition, I think it's okay.
It's okay. When we talk about VCs today, so we have this startup is sustaining because of a lot of funding support they're getting. I don't know back then how much support did you gather for yourself?
In 1992, I had to struggle for 6 months to get a 30,000 rupee OD limit from a nationalized bank.
Okay.
So essentially you had to do with customer money, right? You had to sell your product or your service to your customers, collect the money and pay your salary bills and therefore survive.
So today you think this VC and venture capitalists and all the angel funding, all the funding system that has started, it is a good push, or it is something where everybody is getting lost, or it is a easy money,
no, so
careless money?
So I'll tell you. we ourselves are now VC investors. At two of our companies that we invested have gone public, Zomato and Policybazaar, with spectacular results. And both of them raise money from other VCs as well.
Yes.
So look, if venture capital backs good founders chasing a great opportunity, great results can happen. And we have witnessed it ourselves. So yes, but entrepreneurship is Darwinian. Many try, few succeed. So yeah, some will not succeed, and that's life.
When you're saying that you've invested and those companies have really done well, is there a format in which you choose how the due diligence that you did? Was that driven by a factor, parameter? Was it a chance that you took up?
So in the stage we went in
Yes.
to Zomato and Policybazaar, Policybazaar was just an idea, not even a PowerPoint.
Okay.
Okay. Zomato was then called Foodie Bay and was doing 1 lakh revenue a month. So there was not much due diligence, right? But you assess the idea, you assess the founders, you assessed whether they got natural traction, is the value proposition compelling enough, so compelling that the customers will want it. So you're taking early stage bets into category creating companies. There's no TAM because it's a new market, right? So you're taking those kind of bets. So a lot depends on the team and your assessment of whether or not they can survive even as a small company.
Today, and there are so many startups, but we do see failure at a certain stage or a struggle to even survive, get to the break even. Getting money is easy, but even VCs suffer at a point. Where do you think this ecosystem is going? Has it got overflooded now? Are we at the right space to?
Every market sees boom cycles and bust cycles.
Okay.
It's the nature of markets. So I would not get alarmed. I think there is enough risk capital available. I think at the early stage, companies are getting funded. There are still all the angels and all the early stage VCs. I think where there could be a shortage is maybe at the growth stage.
Okay.
Because by then, if you have not shown path to profit or profit, it gets harder. So the lesson for founders is use every bit of money you get really well and sensibly. Pi ka hisab karo.
From the beginning to you were to the goal.
You got to be frugal. You got to be capital efficient. You got to spend money carefully on the right things.
If I have to ask you that in your journey, what are the few things that you've definitely learned from your own ventures that you've come up with, and now you're an investor as well? What are those few tips that you say, these are my learnings where you went wrong and you could have done it better, but you made it?
I think in a network effect market, if there's an established incumbent and you are a late entrant,
Okay.
There could be a challenge unless you're seriously differentiated. Okay. I think it's important to invest behind the leader in the market and not number 2 or number 3.
Okay.
Okay. I think it's important to invest. Okay, the biggest secret of early stage investing is to invest behind companies and founders who are going to succeed anyway.
How do you know that?
You don't know that. That's a question you ask yourself. So if I look at Deepinder, I look at Yashid Zaya, they would have succeeded anyway, whether or not they had taken money from us.
What did make you feel that about their personality, about their vision?
No, I think they were chasing ideas that they're different people, right? So Deepinder was 28 when we invested, and he great consumer clarity, great product clarity, very good product. Traffic was growing. That time there was no app, only a website. Traffic was growing without them spending money. That's a very good sign that they've done something.
Organic growth, you believe, is the real growth?
We call it natural traction.
Okay.
They had very good natural traction.
True that. I want to also understand, coming to Naukri.com, where do you think the job market is around today in the state we are?
I think IT is difficult. I think non-IT is okay.
Okay.
We are hoping IT recovers in the next couple of quarters. We're waiting and watching.
From the IT space, I want to know, did you think you got a first mover advantage in your days? Coming from the IT space then and now, it is very, very different.
Yes, we got a first mover advantage. But more importantly, we made good use of it. Many people get first mover advantage and don't use it well.
Today, how do you look at the IT sector? Where are we growing with the kind of economy? We are in an economy which seems growing. We are into geopolitical fix as well. So do you think there's a conflict that we are always in the state that economy is growing, the numbers might speak so, but in real, the Naukri is not there? Always people say, kaam kahan hai?
नहीं देखिए, काम है, but in jobs are growing in certain sectors. IT is not hiring that much right now, and a large number of young people want to get into the IT industry,
Yes.
or IT-enabled services, or IT services, or even products, right? तो ऐसा नहीं है कि काम नहीं है, but it's in certain other sectors.
What would you push for youngsters to understand? You've been a business owner and someone who's owned a company like Naukri.com, now InfoEdge, and someone who is also investing to promote startups. Now, which side of the coin do you want people to go? Become entrepreneurs or become job doers?
It's their choice. It's up to each individual. Point is, there should be enough opportunities for every young person, whether he or she wants to work in a company or as an employee, or he or she wants to found a new company.
Okay.
I think basically people should have enough choice and opportunities to do what they want to do.
It is not required you do a job for certain many years and then go become entrepreneur.
It's not required. Nothing is required. Okay, it's not required, but that's what I did.
And one thing I'll ask you before I have to let you go is your mantra to deal with failure and success, and how do you define these keywords in your life? Are you successful today?
I've been lucky.
Okay.
No, I think success is when you achieve your goals, when you survive, when you are, you can live the kind of life you want to live on your terms. That's success.
And that is it? You think that we go more, like we want more?
So there's no end to wanting more.
Yes.
You've got to figure out when you have got enough.
Got enough. Find that got enough. And for failure, what do you have to see? You've seen enough, you said in your early days.
Keep trying again.
There is no deadline, this is the last failure.
No, I don't think so. See, the point is that if you're frugal, if you're capital efficient, you keep your kharcha low, right? You will fail a lot less.
So there are many companies who grow exponentially and then they want to spend because they say now we are at a stage, let us be exponentially branding ourselves. Branding plays a very important role.
It does, but you see, if that spend does not result in more growth eventually, then why are you spending?
Okay. Leave us with your mantra of life. How do we know Sanjeev Bikhchandani, the man who has achieved it all, called with many more terms like billionaire, successful entrepreneur, successful investor? How do you want to define yourself as you go?
I don't want to define myself, but the advice I'll give young people, especially founders and entrepreneurs who are trying, dream big, but start small.
And work hard.
Right? Yes, work hard. Yes, 70 hours, what was much criticized, actually, you may have to work even more than 70 hours.
How much did you give in your life?
Well, in my first 3 years in my job, I didn't see lint tests. I didn't take a single day's leave for 3 years. It was a 5-day week, but I worked every Saturday. I worked on Diwali, I worked 15 of my Sundays, and I worked morning to night. So there were many 80, 90 hour weeks because the job required that.
But as you grew big, did that commitment and dedication or hard work reduce with time?
It became a habit.
Okay, it became a habit. That's a beautiful way. Something which was requirement then became a habit. Yes. So you never let go of it. Thank you so much, Sanjeev sir, for hosting such a great event. And we really thoroughly look forward to so many startup doers, entrepreneurs.
So I'm not the host or the sole host. There are few hundred people working on this.
Yes.
And many organizations, and the government is supporting, and various government organizations are supporting. So it's a collective effort of the whole ecosystem.
How do you look at the government supporting the startup in India? Because they have really taken it as one of their priority to build the culture of Startup India.
I think it's great. I think, when I began my career in 1984, straight out of college, and I look back on the Indian business environment at that time and compare it to today, there's a sea change. But if you look at what's driven all of that change, it's very often in sectors and companies that did not even exist in 1984.
Okay.
The IT services industry barely existed. IT-enabled services did not exist. I think mobile telephony did not exist. Private sector telephone companies did not exist.
Fintech was not there.
Fintech was not there. Internet was not there. Mobile phones, apps were not there.
Apps, food services, all these quick.
Food delivery, all that is not there.
QSR.
So, and very often this growth is driven by startups. Yes. So I think, and if you look at the giant companies of today, many of them were startups yesterday. So Infosys is a startup in 84. HCL was a startup in 84. So it's clear to me that the giant companies of tomorrow, some of them will be companies which are startups today.
All will not be lost. They will make it as big as some.
Yeah, look at Zomato. The market cap is 1,01,000 crores, and the company was founded just in 2008. Okay, so there are so therefore startups I think are central to India's growth. I think McKinsey has just released a report along with CII last week or maybe 3-4 days ago, Unicorn 2.0, and that report estimates that between 13 and 15% of India's GDP growth in the last 10 years has come from the startup ecosystem.
Great. That's a new number. I think it will go rising. So thank you so much, Sanjeev sir, again for your time
and
your
view
and perspective.
Thank you. Bye.